Welcome back to Crafts by KMW. I'm Karen. Thank you so much for joining me and clicking on this video to watch it. I truly appreciate it and I hope you will enjoy it. So I am really excited to share with you, to review and swatch and test my newest set of colored pencils, the Shuttle Art Skin Tone set of 36 pencils. I got these yesterday as part of a haul from Amazon. I will have my haul video up soon. I'm still waiting for a few of the items. As you know, not everything comes at the same time. So I have a few items that are scheduled to come the last week of June, so I will probably make that haul video shortly after that, and these will be part of that. But I wanted to go ahead and do this video because if you are looking for a set of skin tone pencils, these are a great choice, especially if you don't want to spend a ton of money. So I have three main sets of colored pencils. I have the Brutfuner 520, the Prismacolor 150 plus, I have the neons and some of the discontinued colors. And I also have Spectrum Noir's set of pencils. I think they have 132. And in those sets, there are definitely pencils that you can use for skin tones. However, I like things to be simpler. I guess I'm lazy, and I would rather have a set of pencils in front of me that are ready to go, that are great for skin tone, and I don't have to go searching, look at my swatch book. I can just pick them up and go. I had two sets. I have one still. That one is the Crayola Colors of the World 24 set. I love the colors. You can get any skin tone that you want, from light to dark, from pinky to yellowy to beigey. The colors are fantastic in that set. However, they are Crayola and they're meant for kids. So they're hard. They're very waxy, they're not pigmented, they do not layer well, and they don't blend well. And the real problem with Crayola pencils is that they don't work very well on a lot of different papers that coloring books are made from. They don't even work that great on Hannah Carlson paper, and that paper is excellent quality. So I don't use those as much as I would like to. They're very difficult to use. They take a long time to get it right. And I really only use them when I want a specific skin tone and I can't get it from any of my other pencils. And then I had the Master set. That set was the worst set of colored pencils I've ever used in my life. They said that they were high quality, artist quality, highly pigmented, soft, blendable, layerable, and none of that was true. There's actually a video that they have on the listing in Amazon, and it shows this wonderful artist drawing this picture of a woman and coloring it in with the pencils, and you think, ooh, these pencils are gonna be so awesome. Lies, lies, lies. They are nothing of the sort. They don't work on any paper. They cannot get saturated. You can't add more layers and get the color darker. The colors on the pencils don't match. So you'll pick up a pencil and it'll show on the bottom of the pencil that it's a dark color, and you color with it and it's a light color. The leads don't even match. They were just a disaster. I tried to keep them as long as possible because I did pay for them. However, it just got to the point where they were just making a mess of my pages. So I threw them away, and that made room for another set. So I looked at a bunch of different sets and I decided on this one for several reasons, which I will get into. But let's go ahead and start looking at the pencils. So these are $15.99 on Amazon. They were not on sale. I don't know if they ever go on sale, but I thought that $15.99 for 36 pencils was a really good price. I wanted to keep it under $20, so obviously I was not looking for expensive pencils. And I'm not going to spend a lot of money if I don't know if I'm going to like them, if the quality is there. So I like to keep it as cheap as possible when I'm just figuring out a product. So this is the packaging. It is very, very flimsy. Most of the reviews that are on Amazon noted how awful the packaging is. When these came, they come in a plastic tray, which I'll show you in a minute, and then it's just shrink wrapped. They didn't come with any sort of padding or anything like that. And I don't know if that was Amazon's fault or Shuttle Art's fault. I don't really know, but a lot of people that wrote negative comments commented on the packaging. So this box you would not be able to keep for any length of time at all. This is one that you take the pencils out and you get rid of the box right away. So on the back it says that these pencils are soft core and rich pigmented colors, easy to blend and layer, labeled and numbered for easy color identification, eco-friendly wood barrel, protects cores well and sharpens easily. And I have found all of that to be true so far. So let's look at the pencils themselves. So I'm just gonna make sure I have this centered in my camera properly. Okay, great. So here they are, and I love the way they look. They are beautiful. I love the black. I love that you have a large area here for the color of the pencil. And from the colors that I've used so far, this color is pretty accurate. It's not on point. It will never be because these are totally different materials, but it's pretty accurate. You can actually look at this pencil and pick it up and just use it from this. You don't have to look at your swatch or whatever. I absolutely love how these pencils have large names. I wish all the pencil manufacturers would do that. Not just for me because I am nearsighted and wear glasses, but just for ease of use for everyone. I bet you can probably read some of the names of these pencils looking at it from the distance that you are. And that really tells you something. When I pick up a Prismacolor or a Bruckfuner, I can barely read it. So here's a comparison. So here is the Prismacolor Neon Orange, and you can barely see the name. It is so small. I think partially because Prismacolor puts a lot of other information on there as well, but this is how it needs to be done. I love some of the names of these pencils. There's Shallow Orange, Shallow Yellow, there's Dark Coffee. I love that. My favorite one is, where is it? Is Santa's Flesh. So this one is Santa's Flesh here. That is an amazing name for a colored pencil or any kind of art supply. I just think that is so cool. I left this set exactly the way it came in the packaging. I did not rearrange them at all. I'm gonna pull them out of this tray because this tray is really wobbly, and I would say it's pretty standard for a tray that you get in budget pencils. So I never keep these. I just take these out. I'm actually going to transfer these pencils over to my wrap I have a really cute kitten wrap. This one holds 72, so it'll be great. I can put other pens and pencils inside here as well. So I'm gonna transfer those over as soon as I'm done with this video. They came very nicely sharpened with a nice point on them, so that was really nice. And then on the other side, they have Shuttle Art marked on there. They also have a number. I don't use the numbers at all. I think the numbers are nice though. They're easy to read. As you can see, the number is in a silver oval, so you can read it much more easily than if it was just printed on there. So there's a lot of things that they have done right with these pencils. You do get a black and a white. The white sort of works. It's not like a Prismacolor white, so I will probably be pulling out my Prismacolor white and using it to add highlights and lighter areas as I continue to use these pencils. It does work a little bit, but it doesn't give you the color saturation that the Prismacolor does. In my experience, the Prismacolor white is the best white out there. I would love to know what you think. Let me know if you agree with me or if you have found another brand of colored pencil that has an awesome white. Let me know. They have two grays, which is really nice, and these are dark grays. So there's lead gray, which is the darkest one, and then regular gray, which is pretty dark. Those are great for shadowing. In the master set, they had a gray, but it was a really light gray. You couldn't use it for shadowing because there's no way you would see it, and I really didn't understand why it was in there. But these are great for adding shadows. There's a nice range of dark colors, although I wouldn't say there's a ton of dark colors, but I'm happy with that. I would rather have the lighter colors, the peaches, the beiges, and I love that there's a really nice range of pinks in here. And I will probably use these when I'm coloring other things, flowers, clothes, sunsets, whatever, because I find that regular colored pencil sets just don't seem to do very well with pinks. I don't know why. So I'm happy I got some other pinks. One of the reasons that I bought this set, other than the price and the number of pencils, was that they have 4 corals. I love coral. I think coral is a really nice option rather than pink or red all the time. And it's just a really pretty, subtle color that's unique, but it's really hard to find. It is just one of those colors that I wonder if the pigments are really expensive or something. In a regular colored pencil set, you might find 1 coral, maybe 2, but this one has 4. So this one has flamingo coral, light coral, coral, and there's one more, coral blush. So I was so excited to get 4 corals in one set. So that was one of the reasons why I bought them. So in the box, you get this pamphlet. So it is a trifold pamphlet, and it gives you a tutorial on how to create this look with these pencils. And then it also gives you, which I find the most useful, this color swatch chart. I have been using this as I was coloring with these pencils last night to give you some examples of how they look. And this is really very true to color. Again, not perfect, it's different paper, it's printed, but it is pretty close, and it did help me to do a good job with picking the colors that I actually wanted. So you can keep this with you and use this, cut it out. If you're traveling with these pencils, this would be nice to bring with you because it's nice and small. Now, the tutorial I don't find very useful. It's very vague and really doesn't tell you what to do. Like, for example, step 5 says, Continue to finish the hair and modify the facial features with previous corresponding colors. Then draw the flowers with 181. That is very general. If you're someone who would need to follow a tutorial or would want to, you need more information. Unless you're an artist and can just run with it, I think this tutorial, although a really nice idea, I think it's just not very feasible at all for most of us who are not artists. I think you can glean some ideas from the various pictures, especially where to put shadows, where to put darker colors, lighter colors, highlights. But other than that, I think this tutorial is pretty useless. And that's just my opinion. And then they also give you a color chart, which I'm going to fill in so you can see how the pencils work. I think this is perfect. I'm gonna keep this with the pencils so that way if I travel with my pencils, I have this color chart. I'm also gonna make a full color chart for myself. I have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that I use for my Swatch notebook, and I'll do one of those, but this will be the one that I use to carry around with me. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start swatching. Then I'm gonna show you 3 pages that I colored a portrait from in Anastasia Ellie Calder-Reva's book, Listen to the Wind. So you can see how they look, and then I'm gonna do another page and kind of share what I think about these pencils, how they color, etc. So I am going to get this stuff out of the way and start swatching. I'm gonna do it separately so I can speed it up a little bit, and there'll just be some background music, and then I'll come back and show you what I've already colored. So here is my color chart. I actually had to start again. I just started pulling pencils out of the tray. I thought that they would be in the same order on this chart as they were in the tray, and they were not. So I got maybe 5 or 6 down. I just erased, and then I put all of the pencils in the order of this chart and then started again. And I realized that 2 of the colors are not named the same as on this chart. So pale peach is actually peach puff, and peach is actually rose pink. I don't know why that is. I don't know if they just changed the color names of the pencils or if they substituted different colors in this set for these 2 colors because maybe they didn't have them or whatever. I am not sure, but that doesn't matter to me. I'm fine with that. And I really like actually the order that they have these in. It allows you to see kind of similar tones together. So I think for blending purposes, that will be really, really helpful. Some of the colors do color better than others. The black was super easy to lay down, and some of the other ones, like the Santa's Flesh, I really had to press hard and go over it a couple times in order to make it appear. Although this is really junky paper. It's not good quality paper at all, so I don't know if that will have an impact on it or not. So let me show you the pages that I colored a portrait in from the beautiful book Listen to the Wind by Anastasia Elliott Caldereva. This is one of her newer books. This was put out in 2023. I got it this year. She is based in Russia, and of course the shipping is quite expensive. So I wait until she has one or two books and then I order them together so I don't have to pay as much in shipping, because you would pay pretty much the same amount to ship one book as you would two. So she has another book out that came out this year, and I will probably wait until she does another one and then buy those two. But right now I have like 6 of her books that I'm working on. I have this one and another one that are brand new that I hadn't colored in up until yesterday. And then I have 4 others that I have already started and are working on. So I started with this one. This book belongs to Paige, and on the skin I used the cinnamon, the tan, the dark coffee, a little bit of salmon pink on his lips, and some of the other pinks on his lips as well, and dark coffee. And I love the way it turned out. I wanted him to look really tan and buff, so I really like how these colors look together. And then for the hair, I wanted him to have really light, like sun bleached hair. So I used the khaki, brown, toffee, shallow yellow, and a little bit of the earth tone. So there's 5 colors in here, and I think it really works well together. I really like that. I don't know how many different colors of hair you can get with this set. It'll be interesting to find out. I am probably going to use this set to color hairstyles, but I don't know how far it'll take me. So the next one I colored is this one. So on this one I used Naples Yellow for the base, Deep Flesh and Flesh Tan, and a little bit of light peach for her cheeks. And of course I used the gray for the shadows, and I did the same on this one. I think on this one I used the darker gray, the lead gray, and I think on this one I might have used just the gray. I don't remember. But again, I really like how she came out. And then I used a little bit of it was either a Color or a Brut Fooner pastel green for her eyes. I'm gonna do the snakes in greens, I think, so just to connect her a little bit. And I'm not sure when I'm gonna do the eyebrows. I'll have to see how I feel once I get the snakes done. And then I did, oh, where is that page? Might be further back than I thought. And then I did this one. So this one I did in shallow yellow, orange toffee, and shallow orange. I believe I used the regular gray for the shadows, and then I used coral on the cheeks. So again, I really like this one too. This paper is interesting paper. So I'm gonna actually do this one for you now. And I've planned the colors I'm going to use. So let me get them. Out. Let's see. Okay, so I'm using light rose. I want this color, her skin, to be more pinky. All right. Deep flesh. And the Santa's flesh. And the Santa's flesh is going to be the base color. So I'm gonna start putting a layer down of the Santa's flesh. And I'm just gonna talk to you a little bit about how these work and the paper. So if you've never had an Anastasia Ellie Caldereva book before, the paper is really nice. It is a nice weight. It's what I would call probably a light cardstock, and it is really good for using wet media on it. It doesn't curl too much or buckle, and it is very, very flat. It doesn't have any tooth to it, or barely any tooth. So it's very flat, smooth paper. And I'm not sure if this is true, but it seems to me that it has a bit of a sheen to it. So it is a little bit, I don't want to say shiny, but sheen is the best way I can describe it. It has some kind of a coating, and it makes it a little resistant to wax-based media. So, for example, Prismacolor are a little hard to use on this paper. They can definitely be used, but you just need to adjust a little bit how you color with them, because you can't do your normal your normal procedure like you would in a Kirby Roseanne's book or a Joanna Bosford book or one of the Beauty of Horror books by Alan Robert. The paper is just different. And I found that these pencils, I believe these are wax-based, these pencils work pretty well on this paper. I was actually really surprised. I have not felt like I had to struggle to lay down color. Again, some of the colors are deeper and easier to lay down than others. This one seems to be one of the harder ones. I'm not sure if that's because of the pigments or what the reason is. So for this demonstration, I'm just gonna do the face. I'm not gonna do all of it. That way you don't have to sit here and watch me doing the whole body. But I really like how these lay down. I'm applying, again, with this color, because it lays down a little bit lighter, I am applying medium pressure at least, and I am going a little heavier in places, but it lays down pretty smooth. These are definitely not as smooth as Prismacolor or like Polychromos or some of the other very soft pencils, very high quality, expensive pencils, but for the price, for $15.99, they do lay down pretty nicely. So now I'm just going over everything, applying like a second, third layer. I just want to get some color saturation on here and some multiple layers built down. I'm not necessarily trying to burnish. I'm not trying to eliminate all the white, but I want to get rid of most of it at this point. All right, so I think that's a good start. So I usually, when I do skin, after I get my layer down of the lightest color, I then go to the deepest color and do all of the darker areas. So that one is the deep flesh. So I'm gonna go over all of the darker areas that Anastasia has drawn in with this darker color. Again, I'm giving it, I would say medium pressure. I wouldn't say heavy, but definitely medium. I like Anastasia's work. I love that it's line work, so it gives you a lot of room to be creative and add your own touches and style in, but she does help you a bit with where darker areas should be, so I really like that. So now again, I'm just going over the areas that I've colored with some more layers. I add a few little areas in addition. So I put a little darker area around the edge of her face and around her nose there. And I usually do a little bit around the lips. Now I'm going to use the lightest color, which is the light rose. And I'm just gonna go next to where I applied the last color, which was the deep flesh. This is another color that is what I would call a little harder to lay down. I'm gonna go over this again. So I am having to apply a little bit more pressure with this one. Normally I would blend this with my Prismacolor colorless blender. That's what I blended the other 3 examples that I showed you. But instead, with this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some Gamsol, and I'm gonna see how that works. I have not tried Gamsol with it yet, so I decided to try it on camera. So we'll see how it looks and how it comes out. I have used Gamsol on this paper before. I felt like, I don't know, I felt like it didn't make much of a difference, but it could have been the pencils I was using. I'm just not sure. So again, I'm just going back over what I've already colored, adding more layers and darkness. And then what I usually do is I come back and I kind of start again and I add in a little bit more color, especially if I know I'm going to be using Gamsol. Gamsol will dissolve a lot of it, so you just want to make sure that you have enough layers and opacity on if you're going to use Gamsol. At least that's what I found in my experience. Let me know in the comments if you use Gamsol. I'd love to know if you like it. I don't use it all the time. I probably should use it more than I should. I don't know why I don't use it more. I'm not really sure. I don't know if it's maybe just, I just don't think about it. I don't really know. So I'm again using the mid-tone. All right, so I have my water brush ready to go with my Gamsol, so I'm just gonna test it. There's a little bit of color on this, on the end of this brush, so I just want to make sure it's not gonna put blue on my on my face. All right. So I'm going very lightly with this. I do think some of the blue is coming off, but I can fix that. So it looks a little weird now because it's wet, but actually I think it blended it quite nicely. And then what I will do is I will continue to build up layers. Even after you use Gamsol, you can continue to color. And I feel like the Gamsol gives you a better layer to, or a better base to put further layers down. But these are the pencils. I really like them. I highly recommend them. The only issues I see are the cheap packaging. But I think most colorists tend to move their pencils into cases or whatever, so I don't think that's an issue. They are a little bit hard. They're not super soft like Prismas or anything like that, but they do color nicely. Some of the colors color easier than others. I think that might be due just to the type of pigment, but I've learned to, just in using a few of the colors, I've probably used 8 total, maybe 9. and I've learned that you just need to press harder with some of the colors, so that's not an issue. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you have these pencils and what you think of them. I would love to hear about that. Thank you again so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I am continuing to grow, and I thank you so much for that. Welcome to all of my new subscribers within the last couple of weeks since my last video. I hope you're enjoying the channel, and welcome to the Crafts by KMW family. I'm going to be having some really cool videos coming up in the next few weeks and next month or two. I have some crafting videos, and I have, of course, the haul video, and I want to do at least one color along by the end of July. So stay tuned and keep watching those videos. Please give any video you watch and this one a thumbs up if you liked it. It really helps me with the algorithm. And subscribe if you're not already. I truly appreciate it, and it helps me out growing my channel. So once again, thank you so much. I hope you have a fabulous day, and of course, a very crafty day as well. See you next time.